recap real quick before we introduce my wonderful, handsome guest, Gage. Let's recap on gold real quick. Let me share my screen. Oop. Up, Gage, you're still sharing yours, so it's fine.
Oh,
We'll
okay.
talk about gold in a little bit.
Stop sharing.
All right. Hey.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, stop sharing and I'll let me share
All
real quick.
There we go.
Just want to do a real quick recap on oh my God. So Tuesday, we explained how gold was going to potentially retest this area, and then I felt like it was going to be coming back down. My mouse is going crazy. Every time I do these lives, I don't know if you guys can see this, it's just jumping around like crazy. All right, good times. Anyways, go to the 1 hour time frame. Gage, you might. Let me just try to stop sharing. I'll let you talk. Do you see what mine's doing right now?
No, I can't see a screen.
Yeah, it's overloaded. All right, let's do this. All right, Gage, if you want to go ahead and just take it over, because this is.
All right, so let me go back to
these technical difficulties on my side.
Let me go back to sharing my screen. How do I do that?
Go to your.
Go
to the Riverside. Okay.
All right, cool. Entire screen.
Did you take these trades this week?
Perfect. All right, can you see everything?
Yep.
Okay.
Good.
So these aren't indicators or anything. These are just session boxes. So I like to mark out this. I like to mark out the sessions, and the earliest ones. It kind of draws a line to show you where the highs and lows of each session are. So that's how I start every day. So I don't know who was on here last time, but I taught you guys about the silver bullet strategy, and I literally caught that this morning. So I'll go over this morning's trade, which is between 10 and 11, and 2 and 3 p.m. And if you guys don't know, I'm an ICT student, a humble ICT student. If you guys haven't heard of him, you probably will, even though he says he's leaving the internet at the end of this year, like now, pretty much. But he taught me.
Why is that?
He's a very interesting guy. If you go type in ICT on Twitter, you can read all his stuff. But he believes the market is an algorithm. I believe it's an algorithm too, controlled by it's essentially an algorithm benefiting high frequency traders, and people who are entering at a premium or a discount if they want to take the market long or short. They're getting in at the best price, and they're reading the algorithm to a T to find those, pinpoint reversal entries. And so when I started learning ICT, I was so fascinated by the fact that he could find these pinpoint reversals like on the chart. And it's just something that you don't see most traders do. And he did it with a live account, and it really sparked my interest. And 6 months later, after studying his concepts, I literally went from I was unprofitable for 3 years straight, and then found ICT, studied for 6 months, and I came out with last month I made about 25K from prop firms. So,
hey, let me say this: 3 years straight shows how much dedication it takes, because same thing, basically I have almost the same timeline. 3 years of losing, and people don't understand this. They're like, oh well, you probably made some money. You can't put that in parameters when you're thinking, okay, if I started with 100 grand and then I lost 80K and then I made 50K, you're still losing. You're still at a loss. So it's like, so yeah, 3 years is serious.
You definitely have to. You have to be willing to go through that if you want to come out on the other side of profitability. You have to be willing to ride the rainbow, so to say, to get to the pot of gold. And everybody's rainbow is different. And there's a lot of red in that rainbow, which means a lot of blood has to be spilled to get to that gold. But once you get there,
awesome.
you have the consistency and discipline. It's a skill that's literally uncapped, and you can never lose the skill, and it'll be here forever unless they shut down the markets, which God forbid they shut down the markets. Then some real stuff is going down. But I'm gonna show you guys the trades I took this morning. You can see the arrows. I just started trading on Tradeovate, which is just futures. So I look at the futures chart, but it's pretty much the exact same as the Nasdaq chart, the Nas 100 chart. Maybe like a couple little candles will be different, but I always look at the futures chart. So this morning, remember, I mark off. I only trade this strategy, the silver bullet strategy, which is ICT's one of his most sought after strategies, I guess, so to say, that he's taught, and that a lot of profitable students have come from this strategy. He teaches time and price, so you only want to trade this strategy between 10 and 11 and 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. These are the times when the algorithm is most likely to make a liquidity run in either direction, and you just have to look at the candles to see which way it's going to play. So this morning we saw a massive run up. What's up?
Gage, do you ever watch for fundamentals during those time zones as well?
I check Forex Factory every single morning, and if there is a news driver at 10, then I'm much more wary when going into the silver bullet, because I know that there's going to be heavy manipulation, or what ICT calls manual intervention, when they reject the algorithm for an hour or two during that news event and just do it a massive liquidity injection to either take out stops in either direction before the real move. So always be checking Forex Factory before you get on the charts at 9:30 open, and look, because a lot of times there's news drivers at 8:30, and there's news drivers at 10, and then there's news drivers at 2, which is like 2 of those are both the silver bullet time frame, so you want to be really careful. And anytime Powell is getting up there and speaking, you know that there is to be like massive manipulation. So best rule is to not even trade, even if it's during the silver bullet time frame or a specific time-based strategy. But today we were looking good.
I see Powell, it's done.
Yeah. Yes. Don't trade that. Today we looked really nice. So we had a massive run up throughout Asia, London, and obviously the PM session. You can see it's just been like a steady bull trend. We came up here, and at 9:30 we were almost at we had reached the peak of this bull run at 8:55. So around 9 we stopped. So when I was looking today, I have the session marked out. I saw that we had a high right here, and we had a lows down here. We had a bunch of lows down here. This was my target going into the morning, because I saw, hey, they're going to want to get close to this or run this to gather liquidity if we want to keep going up. But I also had this low marked, and I had this low marked, right? So those are my 3 liquidity levels going into the morning, and I was aiming for sells because I knew, hey, if we want to continue this trend, the market's going to want to gather liquidity before it keeps going up. So when 10 o'clock came...
And you got a nice little range, too.
Oh, yeah. So 10 o'clock or 9:30 open, the market kind of ran up, manipulated up, but it didn't take the high, and it kind of chopped back down until 10. So I was watching this. I noticed that we didn't take the high, and these lows were left open, right?
Yep.
As soon as 9:45 hit, we had this kind of displacement candle where it left a big gap. This is called a fair value gap, and these are points in the market that the market's going to want to return to either fill these gaps or gather liquidity before running lower. So I had this marked out. As soon as we came into our 10 o'clock, which is right here, this candle right here, I noticed we were still playing around in this gap, and it had been respecting for the last 10 minutes. Remember, I have these liquidity levels marked out, and my first TP was right here. So as soon as 10 o'clock...
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So because you're on the 1 minute time frame right now, is that your normal time frame for trading, or is that just what you're...
So I look for main structure. Everyone thinks that the 1 minute is noise. Everyone will tell you that the 1 minute is all noise, don't trade it. But I believe that the market is algorithmically delivered, and I've seen it for the last almost 8 months since I've been studying ICT, that it is indeed delivered on the 4-hour time frame algorithmically, the daily algorithmically, and the 1 minute algorithmically. And the candle play is the same no matter what chart you're looking at. It's just obviously moving a lot more faster and volatile when you're looking at the 1 minute and the 5 minute. But it moves the same, and the concepts are the same. You have these gaps on the 1 minute, and you have these gaps on the 4-hour. If I go to the 4-hour, you can see, like, look what we formed here. We had this like huge imbalance right here, this void in price on the 4-hour. And it didn't even want to return to it. It was so strong bullish that it literally tapped it to a T and ran back up. And then what you can see if you actually draw this out is like the candle bodies. This was the actual gap right here, because the wicks are just like we're respecting the candle bodies, right? The bodies tell the story, and the wicks are manipulation. Like they're trying to get out the buyers before a huge run up, and they're trying to get out the sellers before a huge run down by manipulating you in this zone. And you can see like once we came down in here, it rejected so heavy based off this bullish imbalance that we just kept going up. And yeah, it's pretty crazy. But like, look at this. I'm just showing you stuff on the 4 hours so you can see like it works on every time frame. When we had this displacement, it left the gap. The market returned to the gap, played around before going lower. And you'll just see this.
I can even see just off your markup right there, even on a sell. Like you can't see my mouse, but you have the break hook and go, which is even like price come below, come back, retest and goes. Just is simplistic.
Yeah, it's
when you know that.
It's certainly algorithmic. So I'm just showing you guys that to give you context. Like it works on any time frame, but I love the 1 minute because I'm able to get out 30 to 50 point moves in just sometimes 5 minutes. It could take an hour to play out, but a lot of times I'm in and out of the market within 5 to 20 minutes, and I'm taking moves.
I was just about to ask you, what's your average like for like a day to day for your trading? What do you look for? Do you look for like you want to do like a 4 hour, or you want to get in and out?
So I'm primarily a scalper with this method, and as you can see right here, so we had this gap. I only trade between 10 and 11 and 2 and 3, right? That's my main strategy that I'm working on. So once I saw that we were here at 10 o'clock, this 10 o'clock candle right here, we had respected, we wicked up, and as soon as I saw this candle body close inside, I took the sell. You can see I took the sell at 922, so literally like on the candle body almost. I took the sell right there, and then I took another sell at 917 once I saw we were actually starting to break down. So I stacked sells in this. I stacked sells in this zone, and this was my trade. I took it to the first. Remember, I don't know why I took these off, but I had these marked off, right? My first TP was this liquidity level, and my second TP was here. But I got kind of scared out in the middle because I was like, I have enough profit. Yeah. I'm not going to take it. And my stops were right here. My stops were right above this candle's high because I saw that we had created a high right here as well. So I didn't want us to come back. Like, I gave us room to wick this, and we crashed down. So I took profit first down here at this because I saw we had this wick down, and so this was the safest TP1 right here was this wick. Obviously we hit it to a T. You can see this is algorithmic, man. It doesn't get any cleaner than this. Came down here, freaking crushed it. Like there was just a massive bearish run to this TP, and then we kept breaking down, and I took my last.
And you got out perfect.
Yeah, I got out right here at 890, and so she dropped a little bit lower. She dropped about 20 points lower, but I was very happy. Yeah. And then that's it. That was my trade for the day. It was the silver bullet. It was a bearish silver bullet, and you can see right here at 1014, we pretty much algorithmically tapped this liquidity, and then started to run higher because this was all manipulation. Like the morning, this was meant to induce sellers to try to catch this whole run down maybe into the London range. As soon as they got enough liquidity to send the market higher exactly where they wanted, this is like a handshake with smart money. Boom. Shot it right back up to the highs. Immediately went to the high liquidity. It was only maybe a 30-minute run to the highs. And it's as simple as
I love the time session indicators too. I used to use them all the time, but then I started getting confused because I was using it on my phone, and it'd start just running all in it. But seeing it on TradingView, it looks so much cleaner. Like just seeing your sessions and all. That's sick.
Yeah, I have one other strategy I want to teach them if I have enough time. Do I have enough time?
Yeah.
All right, check this out, guys. This is ICT calls this the strongest algorithmic pattern that you can ever trade. And he claims that himself personally, which I believe this because he's been trading for like 30 years plus. And if you're in this game for that long and you stay disciplined and consistent, I believe that you can have a strike rate of above 80%, 90%. And ICT claims that he has a 93% strike rate, which is insane. So he wins 93% of his trades. I believe it because I've watched him over the last 8 months, literally every day. And when he's live trading and showing these moves, it is the most precision trading I've ever witnessed from any human mind in these markets. So it really is remarkable. But check this out. This is called the unicorn pattern, and it's so strong. So what we're looking for, I usually start on the 15-minute, right? So I'm getting my general structure from the 15-minute. I will look at the day and 4 hour to get my general, like, okay, this is where I think we're going to have a liquidity grab, either higher or lower. So I'm basing my bias off the higher time frames for our draw on liquidity, but I'm always finding entries on the 15-minute or lower. So when I look for this pattern, I'm looking on the 15-minute, and what you want to see is look at this. So we have a major high right here in the AM session made, and then we have a major low, right? And then the market pushed back up, but it didn't break this high. So that would actually be a bad. Let me find this.
You see that gap right there to the left?
Oh yeah, dude. This market has been absolutely insane, and everyone thought that the market was going to keep selling. That's exactly why they're pushing this market higher right now, is because everyone was selling. Everyone was so bearish on indices that it's only natural that they get all the sellers out before they push it lower. So I'm not saying that the market's bullish or bearish right now. I'm just saying they're going to push it higher to get every seller out before they send it lower. That's how it works. And they're going to enter sells at the highest point before the market goes lower. But I'm trying to find this setup for you guys because it's just absolutely just the most ridiculous thing if you can find it. And the win rate is so high. Here we go. So we have a high in the market, we have a low which swept liquidity, and then we have a higher high, right?
Yep.
So when you're looking at this, when it makes the higher high, you want to see that it has a major break of structure with a gap, like a displacement. So on the 15-minute, you have this gap. The whole session's played out, and look how it beautifully dipped into this gap. But what do we have when we broke out too? It's called a bullish breaker. So we have a high, a low, a higher high, and a breaker is a failed order block. And an order block is just an area where smart money is stacking orders to send, like stacking massive orders to send the market higher or lower. And you can see as soon as we dipped into this gap, the market shot up, like the AM session
shot
literally
right off. Yeah.
And this was a news driver, but it's still algorithmically driven by this bullish liquidity void formed at noon the previous day. So you can see how the market lines up with that. And
that's what I try to tell a lot of people with, not to interrupt you, but with the fundamentals. This is why I do pay attention to them, especially like with Powell and stuff like that, trading gold. But 9 times out of 10, even though when the news, the first impulse comes out off of news, the trade or the market still plays off to technicals because it is, like you said, algorithmic driven and stuff like that. So, but not saying don't pay attention to fundamentals. It's just, for me personally, I understand they're there. I just try to wait for that first impulse move. Everybody, like the whipsaw, everybody goes crazy, and then once it calms down and the initial reaction happens, that's when I try to jump in.
Yeah, I'm so confused why it's not showing my entries here, because I traded yesterday, but it's not showing any of my entries from Tradeovate. I just started trading on a futures broker, so I'm kind of confused because I would show you guys my actual entry, but I just can't remember. But look at this. So we have. I'm trying to find the perfect setup for you guys, but it's just. I'll teach this next time. I'll teach this next time because I was only focused on the silver bullet, and now I'm like trying to find. I thought my entries would be on here, but they're not on here. So I'm just a little bit.
Well, we'll do this, and then we'll end the live. Let me ask you for one, and you've kind of answered this before, but how do you feel the prop firms have changed the trading game? And you can apply this to yourself, or how do you feel in general?
Man, prop firms for me is the way to go because most people don't have massive capital. So prop firms fill that gap for a trader who wants to dedicate themselves to the craft, but doesn't have. They get caught up with all these Instagram traders doing 1,000 to 100,000 flips on a demo account, and they think, oh, this is what trading should be. No, trading is learning the skill to build something that can be consistent for years down the road. And once you learn the skill, it's literally uncapped. But still, most people don't have the capital because they're working, they're just a normal person working a normal job. Yeah. They want to learn the skill, and they feel discouraged because they don't have the capital to actually do these big flips, because most of the time they get in from something like seeing it on social media or seeing an ad or
That's how I got in.
Multi-level marketing like I first started with IM Academy. That's literally how I got in. I was only in for like a month or two, and I learned nothing about trading from any of these multi-level marketing. But yes, prop firms changed the game because you can absolutely prove your skill, prove it again on phase 2 if you're taking a phase 2 challenge, and then get all this capital. Who cares if it's, I call myself a demo trader because I don't care if I'm trading live capital or not. I care that I have the skill, because the skill lasts whether you're trading the demo capital through a funded account or live capital. It doesn't matter. The moves are the same, the skill is the same. And if you can master the skill, get funded with Surge Trader, the cap is unlimited. I'm about to start a Surge Trader challenge myself just because I really respect the firm and I love how they're funding you with live capital. But whether it's demo or not, it doesn't matter as long as the firm is trusted and it's paying you out. So, I'm funded on a couple different firms, and I've gotten paid out every time I got to a payout.
You've been killing it. You have been killing it.
Very blessed, and I don't want to front my own capital. I'd rather and if you blow an account with a funded, you're not taking it out of your checking account. You're not feeling that searing loss.
You're removing the risk.
Yeah, you're not feeling that loss as much as if it was being taken out of your paycheck. So it's a great way to learn, hone your skills, and get paid by a reputable firm once you prove those skills. So I love it. Prop firms changed the game, and I know they're here to stay with Surge Traders. So freaking get at it, because this is a way to change your life.
Exactly. Last one, and I'm sorry if you hear the background noise. They're recording.
Oh, you're fine.
It's going like crazy. What do you do personally when you get not necessarily frustrated with the market, but like say you're trying to find a trade, the market's not speaking to you? Like, what is your steps? Do you just like say, you know what, I'm done for the day? You walk away, or what do you do?
I found the unicorn setup, by the way, so if I have time, I'll show it to you guys. It'll only take like 2 minutes. So if I'm on a losing streak, which I just went on a losing streak, I just had a baby. I already said this in the last live, so I'm not going to go too deep. But I had a beautiful daughter, and when I had her, like the last month, she's only a month old. It affected my trading a lot because my schedule immediately changed, and I was on a huge like month and a half winning streak. Got a fatty payout, which was just an absolute blessing, and it just reinforced my confidence. And then I have a baby, an absolute blessing, and the trading goes down the drain for about 2 weeks. Like my schedule was just off. I was taking losses. I wasn't getting enough sleep. I was getting back into the market, the next morning with only a couple hours of sleep, and it really affected me. So I had to take a step back and just honestly take a break. And resetting your mind is the main thing that is going to keep you in this game, and not pushing too hard when the time is not right. If you're going through a challenging time in life, even if it's the most beautiful thing like having a child, that can affect your trading in the most negative way if you're not careful about the things that come with having a kid. The lack of sleep, the the new responsibilities that take you away from the charts, and you take your mind away from the charts. If your mind is not in the charts 100% focused, you're not going to have the edge. And if you don't have an edge in the market, you're dead. They're going to take you out.
Yeah.
So always keep your sword sharp, and be ready for anything. And if it's not right, just sit out. There's always another opportunity in the market, and it will be here tomorrow.
That's right. Well, Gage, I appreciate and love you, brother. I appreciate you coming back on, and I would say if it's up to you, maybe next week we come back in and you show the unicorn strategy.
Yeah. I'll do that. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I gotta show you guys. I was just a little bit befuddled because I'm on the 1 minute chart, like looking around for my entries. I thought they would be here.
That's how I would be.
Next time we do a live, hopefully, maybe we can do it a little earlier, and I'll literally be looking, and if I can see it, I'll show you guys. But it's yep.
All right, brother. Well, I appreciate you again, Gage. Traders, hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your week, and we will see y'all soon.
Thank you, everyone. God bless.